Binges, welcome to the BingeWorthy podcast, part of the Geekish Network. My name is Johnny Randolph, and I'm one of your co-hosts, and I've got two outstanding co-hosts with me. The first one is the lovely Miss Courtney Scott, right? Courtney, say what's up to the people, ma'am.
Hello, hello.
And you know him as New from the Field. God, people know who you are, son.
Hello, Governor.
And we are the Binge Worthy Podcast. The premise of our show is that each week we will binge watch a television series to let you know if you should. At the beginning of our show, we will rate it using our binge worthy scale. Tonight, we are reviewing Winning Time, the rise of the Lakers dynasty. This series has 7 episodes and it has a runtime of about an hour. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put up our initial ratings. So Rodney, how did the Binge-Worthy crew rate Winning Time? So we got 2 full meals in the binge out. All right, so what's that? Raquel, what's that? You got the math.
You asked me, I'm slow today.
All right. That's good. That's good.
That's fair.
That's 13, and then we're about 3. So that gives us a 4.33. That's right there at a full meal. All right, so let's talk about this series. The premise is the Lakers are reveling in the success of their 1980 NBA championship against the Philadelphia 76ers. They were led behind the brilliant play of their charismatic young MVP point guard, Magic Johnson. Now the Lakers must learn how to shift from being the hunters to being hunted. Everybody wants to steal the throne from the champions. Can the Lakers retain their championship prowess, or will they be defeated by their Eastern Conference rivals, the Boston Celtics? All right, so I'm going to start with you, Courtney. Courtney, you gave it a full meal. Support your rating, man.
Well, they changed the style up a little bit for this season. Although I really liked the look of it, like the vintage, like the extra vintage and the footage and things that look like they happened during that time period. Like it was real cool. But at the same time, I thought it was a little bit overpowering. You know what I mean? Like it kind of took me out of the storytelling. Like it's cool to see like news footage woven in, but it was a little distracting for me. Then I know they found out last minute that, like they were canceled and they tagged on that ending. It just felt like they tagged on the ending. Like I probably would have given it a full binge out. Well, actually, I wouldn't have, given the fact that the season 1 started in a very particular way with Magic Johnson in a doctor's room. It appeared to be a doctor's room, and something happened, and then it just shifted, and then the series started. So it seemed like they were setting up to go a certain place, and they never followed through with that moment. And so then to have that kind of rushed tag at the end, though it was cool, it was a little jarring for me.
Okay. Raka, support your rating, son. You gave it a full meal. Why'd you give it a full meal?
I echo everything that Courtney just said. She's right. Even though I really did like this season because of the growth of the characters. There was a lot of growth in the characters. However, again, to that truncated season, they found out last minute that the season was being canceled. That the series was being canceled, and so season 1 we had 10 episodes. I mean, we got cut off the kneecaps at episode 7, and then they tagged a little happy whatever. This is the history. This is what happened to all these characters that we had to read. No, it no. For that alone, I can't get a binge
I
out. Like,
can't. Yeah.
for that alone, like I cannot forgive that. And I know it's not their fault. I know they did the best they could with what they had. I really love this series, and for it to be a 17 episode series, it's just that is unforgivable. Shame on you, Max. David Zaslav, you have struck again. You
Again.
mother son of a fool.
So I'm gonna let y'all in on just a little secret. For me, right? I gave my rating before I saw the little epilogue that you guys are talking about. So I saw it was at that point. I was like, this shit is great. Season 3 is gonna be awesome. And then
Yeah.
down like it got canceled. And then I saw the epilogue and I was like, wait a minute. So I didn't want to be like, well, scratch that. I'm pissed off because we had the little epilogue. So I just kept mine at the same. Because when they lost, I was like, this is great. And then we're going to pick up for season 3. And, we're going to see the dynasty. Well, that did happen. So I set my rating in beforehand, and that's why I'm still sticking with the full binge out because, I thought it was great. I really enjoyed this season. And, it's real, but there's been some complaints about some of the things being over, especially from season 1 being over dramatized. But I thought this story was great, and I thought there was growth in the characters for a real life series. Like, we didn't create this up, and the characters actually grew, and I loved everything about it. And this is my era of basketball, right? We would have went to like 88, 89, the Pistons would have been playing against the Lakers, so I would have been super dope about that. Rodney, we ended that whole Lakers dynasty thing with Magic and Kareem. We was the last one to beat them. But anyway, but yeah.
Yeah, that was another reason why I was a little bit salty because this season, to Rakai's point, felt truncated and incomplete with like the missing 3 seasons. Because for me, I was waiting for season 3 for the exact same reason that you just talked about, Randy, is that it was going to take us into the Pistons. And it was going to take us into like finishing that scene that started out the series, and it like, honestly, there were 2 reasons why I did not give this season a mini meal. And those 2 reasons are, number 1, they brought in Debbie Allen as Norm Nixon's wife. I thought that was dope as hell. I needed more Debbie, I'm not gonna lie. Less Cookie, more Debbie. And built the scene between Larry Bird and his mom. That scene was everything. And when she was like, "Yeah, my number 1 player is Bill Bill Laimbeer."
Yes.
Huh?
I was like, yes.
It was hilarious. It was hilarious because she was like, "You're surprised I know who that is, aren't you?" And I was like, "See, Mama Dukes needs a best supporting actress for that one little scene."
But then she said, he's like, I hate him. And she was like, I know.
Man, I wish I had my Pistons jersey. I'm going home to Michigan. I'm going to see if I can find it because they had my name embroidered on the back. Said Ms. Wright.
Let's jump into this. So, Courtney, in your introduction, you talked about the look of it. You thought that it kind of was a distraction. So I want to turn to Rakai. They did shoot it in kind of like this 1980s style. And for me, it just makes me think like, damn, I was alive when that was in. And like, it looks different. But anyway, what did you think from the storytelling perspective? How did this look add or take away from the overall quality of the series?
I didn't think, for me, it didn't take away. It just kind of added to the suspension of belief. Like when we watch fantasy movies and all types of other movies, and they add things to it for you to understand that at that moment you're in a movie and you're not in the regular world anymore. I think this um, is what transported us back to the 1980s, to the actual era. Um, I mean, if you're an eagle-eyed viewer, you could sit around and watch and look for, goofs and things that couldn't have possibly been happening at that time, and that's fine. But I think the style that they shot in this time kind of added to that. I do understand Courtney's point too, where sometimes it seemed like they went overboard, just trying to keep the series fresh and keep you feel like you didn't see everything and every little camera trick that they had in season one. So the storytelling, even one of my favorite parts, was the call and response. I don't know if it's episode 6 or whatever, when they're about to play, uh, when the Celtics beat the who was it, 76ers, and
Mm-hmm.
you know that it's about to be the Lakers and the Celtics in the finals or whatever, and they're like, beat LA, F Boston, beat LA. They turn the cameras like I love that shit. Like I love most of the times you don't really break the fourth wall, and it's done very sparingly in movies because some people cannot pull it off well. Not everybody's Deadpool or whatever the hell. Um, but I think in some of the instances where they did it in this series, it worked for me.
Okay. All right. So, Courtney, we got a big cast here, a lot of carryover from season one. How did you think the actors did for this series or in this season specifically?
I thought the acting was really strong. Um, I thought that everybody understood their character because it's always difficult to play a character that A was a real person, B is still alive, and like C are iconic legends. Like, you know what I mean? I did like a biopic of, not nearly to the degree that the Lakers, especially these Laker athletes are known. But it's hard trying to like embody those people that are beloved by the universe and at the same time they're watching, like you want to make sure you get these characters right. And I do think that like there's two caveats that I will say about like what I said about the time period. And in terms of like the acting, I think that they were spot on in the period. They were well connected. I loved the throwback HBO because that took me back to my childhood. Like that opening of the HBO was
Yeah.
everything and a bag of chips. And at the same time, the reason, and I just thought about it when Rakai was talking, the reason that it bothered me at times is because that I realized they utilized the shift in the footage and the way the footage was shown between the media coverage and then like just like the regular vintage look is that you're trying to tell me how to feel. I don't necessarily like that camera trick when you're trying to tell me how I feel. Just let me feel based on what the actors are doing and creating in the scene. And I don't need you to use camera tricks to trick my emotions. Just let the actors work.
Okay. And then one of the cool things about our show is if you jump in the chat, we will respond. Mark, a regular of the show, he said, I even love the old HBO opening that they use. Just what Corbin you said. He said Norm Nixon's son needs to be awarded. And he is so cool. He is so cool. We're gonna talk about him a little bit more and more the storylines. So so one of the challenges with writing a series like this is that it is real and a lot of this has been documented, but you still have to impose or inject that sort of drama into the series, something to keep us entertained. What did you think about the writing of the series?
I thought that the writing was very strong. I think I was having a conversation with someone the other day, and I know that several of the real life people, Magic Johnson, Kareem, uh, uh, Jay West, came out and said, they couldn't stand the book that all this comes from. And they were against the show. These three in particular were against the show. I don't think Jerry West had seen it, but I think the other people had said once Jerry West was described, cussing all the time and just flying, going the hell off. Everybody was like, he wasn't like that. But it said, in what I heard was it to convey quickly the intensity that was Jerry West. That was the best way that they could do to get it to come across, even as how he's a contrast from other people, extremely intense. But the thing about this, that this entertained me so much, I don't give a damn what the real story is.
Single damn. Don't
I
give a single
like
damn.
this. As a matter of fact, you know what I'm saying? Is sometimes the legend is better than the reality. I'm rolling with the legend because this shit was entertaining as hell. I swear. And I love how it was different season 2, season 1. Like season 2, we focused a little bit more about character arcs and moving the needle as far as because you covered 3 years in season 2, whereas just 1 year in season 1, and how those characters grew. Hell, season 1 was damn near porn. Shit, every time you looked up, Magic got
Had his face
somebody's
all in
crotch.
places where it
Yeah.
shouldn't have been.
Shit, he ate all of LA. Jesus Christ.
I mean, they were setting up,
Hey,
and he was still yeah.
Not only that, I learned from this show. I did not know, and I'm a Lakers fan. I did not know that he had a child older than EJ by Erlita's best friend at that. I was like, that is a scandalous Negro. My God.
I knew he had a kid. I didn't know the mother was Cookie's best friend.
I said, damn, this dude is, oh my God. No wonder she's hanging out with the other dude in Michigan. Shit.
Yeah, that was a little much.
Mark in the chat said that Magic was a munch the whole season 1. That's funny.
So, Courtney, the show is about it's about a basketball team. To me, I didn't feel like there was a lot of basketball being showed. Maybe you disagree or maybe you don't. What are your thoughts?
I think I disagree.
Okay.
Would I like to have seen more of the NBA, like the playoff scenes? Maybe. I mean, I gotta tell you, I was pacing during the scenes that were happening, even though I knew a lot of the outcomes because even though I was a little kid, I watched some of those games, but I was still over here like having anxiety, like just really invested in these games, and I'm like, y'all fucking up. Like, why don't you pass the ball? I literally went into like little 10-year-old Courtney sitting with my like dad. You know what I mean? Like, oh, pass the ball. Doing, you know what I mean? Like going crazy. So I really enjoyed the basketball scenes. And it's so odd because like there was like the heyday of basketball. The one thing that the ending did right is when they said that Magic Johnson and Larry Bird are credited for bringing back the NBA. Like their rivalry really it boosted in such a way that and I know like Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, like I understand, but for me, it just doesn't have that same like suave, you know what I mean? So I thought that there was a good amount of basketball, and it did a good job of creating the tension that basketball really needs in order to understand why these men off the court were the way that they were.
Okay. I wanted to see more. I wanted to see more of the basketball plays, and I wanted to see more of Magic being Magic because I grew up idolizing Magic Johnson and Isaiah Thomas. So for me, I just wanted to see more, like in watching, wanted to see more action scenes in a certain show. So for me, I just felt like there should have been more of it.
Can I
And
ask y'all a question?
Huh?
Can I ask y'all a question?
Mm-hmm.
Who was the skyhook?
Kareem.
It's Kareem, right?
Yeah.
I needed more Skyhook.
Yeah, I needed more all of them. I needed more low passes from Magic. I needed more 3-pointers from Larry Bird. I needed more. I didn't need it. I just would have liked to see it. And to your point, Magic and Bird, they didn't like just propel basketball. They literally saved it.
That's what I said. They saved it.
She said that.
I said that. Yeah, they saved it.
Without that rivalry, specifically that 1984 series, that 7-game series, and all those things happened the way that they said they happened. It was,
Yeah, I love those. I love those moments when they would put up, yes, this happened. That was real.
Yeah, and I really love that about the shows. Like, for all the people say this didn't happen, this didn't happen. So for them to throw in there, no, this actually happened. No, this is real. When they stole them players on the court, the fans rushed the court.
That's happened.
I love it.
It's footage of that.
I love it.
The
infamy of the game in Boston where they said that Red Auerbach told
turn
him
off
the air, turn off the water. Like, I love it. Because that can't be proven, but everybody, that is the rumor of the day.
But that wasn't the first time they've done that. Like, Boston has that reputation. They would even talk about there's certain spots on the floor where if you dribble, the ball would go dead because it's like a dead spot.
Yeah, but everyone who plays there knows the dead spots on the floor.
No, they don't.
But here's the thing, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, how is this legal? Like, how is this like you are torturing people, and how has the NBA not done anything about this? But then at the same time, I just kind of moved on from that. But the scene that got me was when Pat Riley took over and he didn't even know. He got thrust on the stage as a the new coach, and like they up there him and hawing like, is he the coach? Is he not the coach? Because like I had been waiting for Pat Riley to take over because like Westhead got on my last nerve.
Oh my God.
I just don't like Jason Segel. I'm just not a fan of him. He's so simple. In every role he plays, they're all the same, and he got on my daggone nerves.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I like Jason Segel, and I think he was a perfect, especially his arc as he's the bumbling, can't get it right, has no confidence in season 1 to season 2. They won the championship, and now he acts like he got it all together. And just to prove he's better than McKinney, he's gonna come up with his own system. Magic gets hurt and he's fighting back through that. And now McKinney's not really fucking with him. Like, all of that shit was perfect. And it was perfect the way Jason Segel played it because it made it easier to hate his monkey ass. It made it easier to hate his ass. And it actually was kind of cool. Like, for me to be so familiar with Pat Riley, Adrian Brody kind of disappeared into Pat Riley.
He sure did.
But especially when, goddammit, I'm coach, not Riles anymore. Like, when he became the Pat Riley that we know, we was like, oh shit, there he is.
He slicked that hair back.
Yeah.
That's when I was like, yeah, because I didn't care about. I mean, don't get me wrong, he did a great job
good actor,
acting the first season, but when he threw on the Armani and the hair slicked back, I was like, that's the Pat Riley that I know. I don't know who that other guy was.
Well, I don't know Riles. I don't know the assistant coach. I didn't even.
Yeah, I don't know the
assistant coach. I didn't even know he was assistant coach.
I agree, but no, that ain't the Pat Riley I know. I know Armani rocking, hair slicked back, limousine riding, standing on the sidelines, Pat Riley, and that's the guy I was waiting to show up. And I thought he did such a great job in body, even the cigarette. Like when he had the cigarette and he was just on the sides and stuff like that. But see, the NBA, you could do stuff like that back in the day. Like what's his name? Red Auerbach. He used to light up cigars on the court.
On the bench,
on the bench when they would win. And it wasn't that big of a thing. And for also that play where Kevin McHale fouls the hell out of Kurt Rambis.
Oh,
yo,
changes the trajectory of that whole series.
Game. Yeah.
No, the whole series.
Yeah.
The whole series.
Yeah. Because LA thought they were just coming in and they thought, because LA on paper has the better team. They got like Hall of Famers on Hall of Famers. And that changed that whole thing. And then that next game, they cut off the air conditioner and they literally did that. Literally did that.
But I love watching the guy who played Larry Bird played him so damn well.
Oh
Like even through
well.
that, he was like, shit, if you're gonna foul him, fucking foul him. Take
He
him
said, if you
down.
apologize, I'll punch you in. Like, he
Yeah.
apologize.
And then when he sat back and saw just things going to chaos, he's like, yeah, we got him
We
now.
got him now. Yep.
We got him. And he knew it. And I love that, you know what I'm saying? Where he was, I don't know, just the dichotomy about where he and Magic were. Like both super talented guys, but you know, Magic the whole time was dealing with confidence issues and then the coach and shit like that. And then, you know, Bird had the same thing where he wasn't really high on himself. He was the kind of guy, he hated the media, all that shit. But you can't be the man until you beat the man. And if everybody says he's the man, no, I'm gonna show him I'm the damn man. And I just love that because I remember that. Like even how they didn't glaze over it, but they didn't make a big deal out of it like I thought they should have in season one. Like we were just saying, how these two men saved the NBA. Because you remember in season one, it was a big deal when Jerry Buss got that media deal. Because at first they wouldn't even put NBA on TV. That shit was delayed tape. Like they, you know, you want to watch an NBA game, you got to watch this shit like 3 o'clock in the morning. Like they would not put it on TV. No live taping. You had no idea what was going on. And just to think that golf was a more popular sport to watch on TV than the NBA at that time. Like,
yeah. And if you was on the East Coast, you got to remember the game came on at 11 o'clock on the East Coast, and then it was tape delayed. So you didn't find out who won the NBA Finals to the next day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was just that actor who played Larry Bird. Like I knew I was gonna love him at the end of, I think it was the end of season one, when he came in and his like boots and jeans, and was like, and they were like, you want to change? No, I'm good. Just pass me the ball. And I was like, I'm all in on this kid. I was like, you look like a 45-year-old man. But doggone it, if Larry Bird didn't look exactly like that his entire career, even when he played as a young man. And I was like, I am so here for this actor. He is killing it. And he's just not even doing anything.
And I love that, you know what I'm saying, especially for those of us who remember and live through this period, these youngsters who just don't know, and they think that the Lakers started with, you know, they started with some dude named Kobe, but they taught him at the tail end, you know, and then LeBron is the Lakers now. No. If you don't know about Showtime, you don't know. Like
you don't know.
You don't know. As a matter of fact, for real, I love the fact that they focus in here the logo. You know what I'm saying? They got the logo on here. And just to see that he was a Laker, he was a lifelong Laker, and his struggles because he couldn't beat the Bill Russell and them Celtics. Like to show that type of frustration, where this rivalry really comes from, like that shit was excellent. You know, the legend, Larry Legend. A lot of people, if you've even seen if you saw the Netflix documentary about the Dream Team or any of that stuff, the only thing you got out of Larry Legend is that, you know what I'm saying, he had back problems and that he was hurting. But, you know, why do people keep talking about this guy? He was the guy. Because, you know what I'm saying, grew up in rural Indiana and, you know, in French Lick. But to hone his game, he went and played with the brothers who was the porters and bellhops and all the people that worked in the kitchen at the casino, at the resort every day. You know, he shot on his farm every day, all day. Like that dude was a monster, and people don't know. Like,
if we live through it, we know. I'm a Pistons fan.
We know.
You gotta recognize, you gotta honor, like as much as because I Pistons fan. You know what I mean? Like I go to Lakers games, but I'm still always gonna be a Pistons fan, just because like it's the legacy. Do you know what I'm saying? It's the legacy of like What'd you say?
I said, yeah, Rakai. Yeah, Rodney. No, talk your
I
talk,
don't
Queen.
care. I
Talk
don't
your
care.
talk, Queen.
Lakers.
No.
No, listen, but they're iconic legacy, like all of them. Like at first, like I was so in, like when I first moved to California, I was so embarrassed. I was like, I can't go to a Lakers game, guys. I can't go. Like that's, you don't understand. I'm a Piston. Like I was like, I can't go. Nobody can see me. I can't wear, for like literally the entire half the many years that I've lived in LA. I would not wear a Lakers outfit. I would wear purple, or I would wear a yellow hat. I wouldn't wear anything that said a Laker, because I felt like such a, like, just like a turncoat. I felt like freaking Benedict Arnold. You know what I mean? But I still have to respect who Magic was, who Kareem was, and the icons that built the franchise of this team. And we were, and Larry Bird, and just like where, you know what I'm saying? Like where we were, like Kevin McHale. I remember hating him. I wanted to fight that man, and I was a child.
Yeah.
I didn't even know what I was mad about, but I was, daddy's mad, mama's mad. I should be mad too.
I mean, the Celtics, like, they were formidable. They were formidable. And like I said,
Everybody's rival.
Their toughness is what won that 84 series for them. They didn't have the better team there, but like they knew the mind games to play. They knew how to be trippy. They knew how to fight. Yeah, all of those things. And as a Pistons fan here on the, in the Midwest, they taught us how to win. Like we had to go through them
to go through the Celtics
from them to learn how to win. And they was a team with.
They were the team to beat.
They were the team to beat us. They were
like, but they were the team. Like, if we could get through the Celtics, if the Pistons could get past the Celtics, then we could. That it was usually always the Pistons and the Celtics in like the East Coast finals.
Until we start.
Until we start losing. But
the WWE taught y'all how to win. Goddamn it!
But what you talking about? The Celtics,
the UFC.
The Celtics did that to everybody. They did it. They literally did it. McHale knocked out.
Look, but what I'm saying is, the thing is, as a lifelong Lakers fan, I hated the Celtics, but I had a huge respect for Larry Bird. I didn't like Kevin McHale. I didn't like Kevin McHale.
No.
And I like Larry Bird because he was all business. He wouldn't talk shit. He ain't got shit to say. He gonna show up on the court. He gonna shoot lights out.
That's the thing about him. He was just there to play.
I don't know. Larry Bird talked a lot of trash. On the court, he talked a lot of trash.
But the difference in the Pistons
don't make a difference.
Oh, there's a difference.
What?
There is a difference.
What?
Listen, if you said that the Celtics were physical and and they taught y'all how to win, listen, the Pistons said, the bad boy Pistons said, hold my beer. We gonna show you how to do it. Y'all damn near was suplexing people.
We wasn't
right. Talking about Robert Parrish knocked Bill Laimbeer out. He literally punched him and knocked him out in the air. What are you talking about? And he got one foul for it.
Yeah, and that was frustration. Y'all were the master.
That's our fault.
Okay.
I'm not saying that the Celtics. I'm not saying that
Y'all can have this rivalry all the time. Let's get back to winning time.
Yeah, we will. And I want to point something out real quick in the chat. Mark said I like the juxtaposition of their upbringing, family life. I didn't know that Bird's dad unalived himself the way he did. So I thought that was interesting, going into his background and contrasting it with how Magic grew up. What do you guys think about that?
Well, I think that was one of the things that was really good about the season, as you saw a lot of people's motivations and what moved the needle for their characters. That part, even the whole thing with him going home, like he had quit college. He quit.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm done, and then just the whole thing about where he came back and played for Indiana State, like that was important as far as how he moved ahead. A man with all that talent, just think, all that talent, and he almost was somebody we never heard of. He'd have been a blip.
Yeah. Yeah.
That and like in terms of Magic, like I just think about the relationship he had in this series that he had with his father, and how that scene that got me is when Magic was standing on the other side of the door when the old lawyer with like the ex-girlfriend's like lawyer daddy who was trying to like market Magic, and his daddy came to it, nah, we ain't working with you no more.
Yeah.
And it was just like it was like Magic went from being a grown man making millions of dollars to a little boy and daddy handling shit for you. Like, but at the same time, in such a positive way, in the way that like I was like, where is his daddy? His daddy needs to come in here and tell that man about himself. You know what I mean? And that's exactly what, when that happened, it was everything I needed in my life. But I loved it.
That was one of my favorite scenes, but not because of how it made Magic.
No, not in a negative way. I think that it made Magic look strong.
You're freezing up. I liked it because it was a callback to what the lawyer had done in season 1. Remember, the lawyer had said, oh, you're Magic Johnson. You can't, give bad news or anything like that. So the very same advice that he had told Magic flipped it and had his father do it.
Oh, I forgot about that. I forgot about that. That's a good, that is a good callback. As soon as I heard it.
Yeah. So the callback there, the setup and the callback is what excited me about that. See, I was like, oh, Magic.
That was good. That's good. That's a really good point. I just enjoyed it so much because the dad and the lawyer had a moment where the lawyer had really kind of shut the dad down. Like he didn't, like he wasn't worthy, like you in the way, you know what I mean? And it gave the dad this moment to really showcase for us how Magic became the man that he is. Like his dad is strong. His mom is strong. Like he came from 2 very strong people. And I really respect, I love Rebecca Hamilton, like loved her in everything she's ever done.
And I love it. But Magic got the strength from his mama.
His mama was fire. That's what I'm saying. Mama was fire.
And his mama was in the church. I'm trying to tell you because when his daddy closed the door on the lawyer father dude, it's just something so simple. He closed the door, like, motherfucker. and the mama turned to him, looked at him and like, well, I'll let that go this one time. You cut like that. You can be Samuel L. Jackson this one time because it's appropriate. Like,
so good stuff. So, Courtney, what do we think about Jerry Buss and Dr. Jerry Buss in this season? What do you think about him?
I gotta love his ambition. I gotta love his drive and business sense. But I did not know that he fraudulently married Honey. I didn't know that. When she came in, when she was mad, she was salty. I just thought she was ready to give up because he was always like not paying attention to her again. And she was about to start doing drugs again. When she said, they called and said, I'm not your wife. This man had a whole wedding. He had a whole wedding in the house with witnesses and then was trying to say, we just need to talk it out. No, bitch, there's nothing to talk about. You married me and you were already married. That's bigamy. That is fraud.
It's literally
but even worse though, was when she went and he was like, well, yeah, I knew we wasn't really married, but Nick, you just cut your own throat.
And you were like, I just forgot.
Bruh.
You forget.
For you to be that good at business and that terrible at, you know what I'm saying, how can you be that good at business relationships? When it comes to personal relationships, you are the absolute worst, sir.
Yeah, and I thought that scene with Gabby Hoffman, who was the CFO, was such a good scene.
She
scene. She killed it. When she ripped him, she was like, no one's gonna like, what are you doing? We're gonna lose $100 million because you fake married another woman?
Yeah, and this is 40 years ago. $100 million 40 years ago is probably about like $500 million now. You know what I'm saying? It's like
when she said, no problem, we can set our court. I mean, Magic and Kareem.
Like slavery was available.
Man.
That's it. She learned a little something being married to her. She's like, all right, we can settle right now. Just give me Magic and Kareem. And he can't get any more money from there, It's like, yeah. So yeah, I never knew that about Dr. Buss. And I thought I knew a lot about the Lakers, but yeah, he actually committed bigamy. That's crazy.
That's literally insane. And the fact that he was just like, huh? What you mean? Who called you? Let me call him. You know what I mean? Like it was so gangster. Like he was so whatever about it. Like it's okay. And even in there with the lawyers anyways, back to your point. Dr. Buss, to me, I thought John C. Reilly did an excellent job. I needed more of Jeannie's transition, which I think we would have probably gotten in had there been a season 3. I also think we would have gotten Pistons casting, maybe even gotten some Bulls action, It's just
yeah, because really the end of that season, like that season where it ended.
Yes, we're going into the 1990s.
No, the end of
it was 84.
No, that was 84. So right after that finals, Michael Jordan is drafted into the league right after that finals. So I mean, the young upstart, the emergence of the bad boy Pistons, like there was a lot of greatness that they could have gave us to the back half of the 80s. And I think that's where either the next season, next few seasons we're gonna go, and we just didn't get that. And on another note, I'm not sure why they did this, and I'm sure it's a trick of storytelling. But so to your point, both of you, like I was blown away about the whole Honey thing. Honey never existed though.
Huh?
They made that up?
Yeah, she never existed.
They made her up?
They made her.
They said that was the show, something about Jerry Buss and his ego and shit, and that he did get sued for $100 million and almost lose the whole thing, but it was so convoluted, or I don't know if it's an NDA or what the hell it is about why they're not going to really talk about what the reason was. But Honey is completely fiction.
Oh.
Okay, I guess I feel better.
It don't even matter. Like we said earlier, it don't even matter. The story was
like it.
She's real
okay, okay, because I was like, nobody can be that arrogant.
Right.
That makes so much sense. But the fact that they had me, because I was sitting here in my room, like,
yeah. They said there was a fast track way to show you about him, but yeah.
Okay.
Interesting.
And like I said, the thing about this series has been so good but so divisive. So John C. Reilly, who never gets to play the leading man. And once again, it's kind of sad that this happened. So their longtime producing directing partner, and I can't remember. I just had his name.
Oh yeah, Adam McKay. Yeah, we talked about this last time.
Adam McKay. Yeah. So this completely destroyed three men's lifelong relationship, like because your boy Will Ferrell wanted this part like bad as hell. Like he wanted this part more than any part that he's wanted in his life.
Ever wanted.
Yeah, and Adam McKay chose John C. Reilly. And that dissolved all their companies. Like they don't make movies no more. They don't hang.
That's not how. It's how it went down. It's that Will Ferrell thought he had the role. He thought because he and Adam McKay were the two producing partners. The two of them produced a lot of things, a lot of successful projects.
Yeah.
And Adam McKay never told Will Ferrell, you don't have this role, then I'm going with someone else. That he didn't tell him until, the way Will Ferrell found out is John C. Reilly called him and said, hey, I just want to make sure, I know how much you want this role. Just want to make sure we're cool if I take it. And Will Ferrell was like, I said, well, huh?
Yeah.
I say, what? Yeah. Like he didn't, like Adam McKay just didn't tell him that he had cast John C. Reilly. And John C. Reilly was just trying to be a good guy. Like, yo, man, you're my friend. He's my friend. I want this role. I know you want it too, but like, are we cool? And Will Ferrell to John C. Reilly was like, yo, I respect you. I understand. Thank you for calling me. You know, we cool, but we going to handle this.
Adam? Yeah, me and
Adam.
I'm gonna bust this shit to the white meat.
Their friendship blew it up
as it
because
should,
he
right?
tell him the truth.
Yeah, you could have told him.
He didn't respect him. Like, I mean, I'm not saying he didn't respect him. I know he had a lot of respect. It feels probably really hard because it's like you just wanted to avoid it. Like, I know he's my best friend, but I can't cast him. Like, I just can't. Like, in my heart.
You gotta have that
you still got to have that conversation.
But I think John C. Reilly was excellent. So
he was excellent.
I think it was the right choice.
Let me ask you all something. Who is the protagonist of this series? Is it Magic? Is it Dr. Bus? Is it the Lakers? Who do you guys think is the actual star, the protagonist of this series?
I think it's hard to say that it's anyone but Magic, really. But I mean, I think the one thing that's great about this series is that the one thing that's always, front and foremost is the Lakers themselves. The franchise itself, because it started out about being about, Dr. Buss buying this new franchise and then the new face of the franchise. But then, season 2 is the face of the franchise is struggling. So it's more about the team.
I think it's the Lakers, period.
Yeah.
The name, the Lakers.
Mm-hmm.
The entirety of the Lakers, the team, are the full protagonist. And everyone who is against the Lakers is the antagonist. Like, I don't think it's enough to say that Larry Bird was the villain of the season. I don't think it's enough to say that even our what's his name?
The coach?
Red Auerbach. No.
Oh, no, I don't think they were either.
What's his name? Is that his name? I got it right? Okay. Okay. I don't think it's enough to say he was the villain. He was the foil to Jerry Buss. Larry Bird was the foil to Magic Johnson, but they weren't villains. Do you know what I mean? Like the media, the team of the Celtics, anybody who was an obstacle in the progression of the Lakers franchise was the villain and antagonist. But this was purely about the Lakers and them, how like that whole beginning, that chunk of time set the NBA to the trajectory that it is now.
And I 100% agree with you about the antagonist. I don't think there was a villain. I thought they were antagonists, with the exception of maybe the coach. What was his name? I thought
Paul Westhead.
Yeah, because I just didn't like him, and maybe that was my own opinion. But I thought he was the villain of the series.
He did, to Rakai's point, he did a great job because I hated him. Mm-hmm. I hate that scene when he pulled Magic into the coat closet or like the little closet, and he was in there trying to like force him, to strong arm him to do what he want to do. I said, "Bitch, do you know he got like 4 feet on you?"
Johnson. Yeah, and it's Magic, but you want to have a play where it's just like, oh, it don't matter who's the point guard. This is Magic goddamn Johnson. It does matter. This shit does matter. It's a difference.
And I didn't need a follow up on Westhead. It's great that he took Loyola Marymount and his little system worked. I couldn't have given 10 shits. Like, I don't want to hear about Westhead ever again. We finished with his story. Let him be done. I hated him so much. So I guess Jason Segel did a great job.
Hold on. The perfect thing was where he's standing in the doorway with his box when they introduced Rouse as the coach. I was like, that's what you get, you son of a bitch.
I know, right?
Hey, you all, if you didn't, you all should Google that press conference when Dr. Buss makes the announcement that Pat Riley is going to be the coach. Because it's literally Jerry West right here and Pat Riley right here, and they're both looking at each other like, we don't know. Like, who is the coach?
Yeah, it's the most awkward
it's the most awkward thing ever. All right, so did any of the plot lines Rakai, what plot line stood out to you the most?
What plot line stood out to me? I think just for all of his attempts, and it's weird that I'm even gonna say this in a show about basketball, Um, that we barely kind of see the whole Magic and Cookie dynamic. Like finally she becomes his wife, his girlfriend, his side, whatever, that finally kind of came to fruition. I just think the problem with we saw lots of great plot lines. I think the problem was because I know this story, I know the history of the Lakers. I'm most disappointed with the plot lines I didn't see, are the ones they alluded to. Like Courtney's beginning of season one is an unfulfilled promise, which was that whole scene was Magic at the doctor's just now finding out he has HIV. Like, that's not till 91. Right now, we are 7 years away from that even showing up. Like, dude.
And they just didn't finish it. Like they just didn't. And I get like we needed even if they weren't going to give us season 3, we needed those last 3 episodes. We needed those last 3 episodes to take us into 91 to finish out the story they started. Because they didn't really need to start there.
Here's the thing, though. They couldn't have done none of that in 3 episodes. I don't care what you say.
No, but here's what I'm saying. They could have ended that doctor scene. They could have closed that scene out.
Okay,
we're not gonna get the follow-up. We're not gonna get the fallout. Yeah. But even if that episode 10 was taking me back to that moment that you started your series with, you opened the series with that, and then you never came back to it like a hangnail. Like you just left it there. You know what I mean? Like you just left me without closure. Like you didn't need to open with that moment. Like you didn't, because it's like, even if you took me to episode 10 and it's now 1991 and it's the end of the season, like we're closing out this era of the Celtics. Even if you end me there and Magic has just gotten his diagnosis, do you know what I'm saying? Like, at least you would have finished the story that you started to tell.
No, I hear
that. That's what I'm saying.
And the first person to call him after that announcement was Larry Bird.
Uh-huh. Which I remember hearing that. I remember hearing that, like Magic said that, and it was heartfelt to me then, and it broke my heart again just seeing it on TV.
And could you imagine it just ending like that? Like the first person he called, like that's a
hold on. How about ending Winning Time, the rise and fall of the Lakers dynasty, with them losing the 1984 finals to the Celtics? Of all of the games you could have ended this series on, you ended on that.
You couldn't have ended next year.
To see the Magic in the shower, like
on the ground.
I mean,
sad and broken.
I felt that, like the way Magic felt in that shower after the end of that series. I felt that, but that's why we wanted 85.
We needed 85. Like we could honestly could have done without so much of the, like, I know y'all wanted more Magic and Cookie, but they just started to like weave it into this magical little fairy tale. Now Magic is a solid dude who is not cheating on Cookie anymore, and we know doggone well he was still cheating on Cookie.
Yeah, they didn't get married to what, like 89
for 10 years.
Yeah, it was.
They were together for 10 years before they got married.
Yeah.
Not only that, you have to look at like what they didn't give us.
What you say, Randy?
No, I was just saying I thought they were married because they had been dating in college.
They dated in college, but I thought that
was in 79.
They were engaged, but they were engaged for a really long time.
Right.
They were engaged for 10 years. When they finally got married, it was literally like before
he caught HIV. Like it wasn't. It was like a year or so before, or something like that.
Yeah.
He was still damn near a newlywed when he got the HIV.
When he got that diagnosis,
because the baby was just born.
The baby had just been born, and they were
and one of the biggest things was.
Is she positive?
Cookie and the baby had to get tested.
Yeah.
He did the whole LA thing. He ate his way through LA. He was like Will Chamberlain.
So I was like, I could do with like, if you're not gonna accurately depict and continue to depict Magic the way that you were, like now that I feel like they realized they wasted too much time on all the like extra stuff. and got away, to your point, Randy, away from the basketball. And I think they tried to bring in more basketball and less of the like romanticized, you know what I mean, other than Magic with the broken leg and the hooker. Like
I just think if you leave off the 84, you got the whole 85 season where they won. You got the whole 86 season where the Celtics won.
Yeah.
And then to show the dominance of one team or the other, 87 and 88, where they went back to back and won. I mean, and then not only that, the fall in 89 when the bad boys show up and whoop that ass. Like, I just heard recently, because of this show, Byron Scott was coming out and talking about that they should have won in 89. And he said it was Pat Riley's fault because Pat Riley ran them like an entire hard ass practice before each one of the damn games, like trying to get them acclimated to playing against the bad boys. And you got an extra ass whooping.
Well, Magic ruptured like his hamstring. He didn't play in that series. And Rodney keeps putting in the chat, hamstrings. It didn't matter, son. Y'all was losing anyway. But there might be. Pat Riley was notorious for having hard practices. And he built that way because of that 84 season, because they were too soft. They had all the talent. They were too soft. So Pat Riley adopted he adopted a real hard mentality of intense practices.
But to you guys' point, I feel like we needed at least one more episode to show us, even if I know it's gonna be hard to get an entire season in an episode, but damn it, they should have tried, because they should have ended it on the Lakers at least winning. I mean, the damn show is called Winning Time. How you gonna end the series on a failure? Like, I mean, not a failure. They didn't fail, but they you ended in this sad place and then say, oh, but it's okay. You got Dr. Buss and Jeannie sitting in the middle of the court saying it's okay, and cut to some clips of us being
white
great.
privilege. We don't want to see their white privilege. We want to see the Lakers win it.
I want to see the Lakers.
And then
you know what I'm saying? Even you drove in on the friggin' Lakers emblem in the daggone forum. What?
Yeah.
See them.
Not only that, with so many shows that do mid-season finales, then you give me this, they lose to the Celtics at the end of episode 5, where episode 6 through 10 should have been to them winning at the end of season, the 86 season. So even if you cut it off at 7, you was already building towards that. So when you stick on your little ending shit at the end of season, at the end of episode 7, I already know what you was building towards. Listen, you know what I'm saying? We went ahead and won it.
Let me tell you, let's start season 2 with the Lakers and the Celtics. I don't need to see the 76ers. You could have caught me up and let me know this is what happened. They came back, they won. I don't need to, you didn't need to blow however many episodes showing me watch them playing the daggone 76ers. If your end game is the Celtics, then tell that whole tell it. Just tell it. Jump time. Start season 2 where we're going into the first series with them. But nah, man. I didn't you could have done 84, 85, and then
they could have done
85, 86.
Yeah, they could have done episode 1 where they riding Hound the Hog, they feeling themselves, and then they lose and the Celtics win. Episode 2.
They didn't think they were gonna get canceled though. That could have contributed to it because it started off doing well, and I think the ratings started to climb, but they didn't promote it. I felt like they didn't promote it with
I forgot about it.
Everything and all of those things. I felt like it didn't get the adequate amount of promotion and things like that. So,
well, I hear that they're trying to see if it get picked up somewhere else, because here's another interesting thing: we're loving Winning Time, the rise and fall of the Lakers dynasty, right?
Right.
But they could almost do this as Winning Time.
The bad boys.
And do the bad boys.
Winning Time,
Bulls, or whatever.
The Bulls. That's exactly what I was thinking. I was thinking that, this could have been an anthology series. This could have been HBO's. This could have been our sports anthology, like American Horror Story or all the rest of those shows.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Just like that. Yeah.
Shaq and Kobe
Who?
years. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like yeah. Then you got to get the
Even getting some.
trial. You get everything right. All those things going, and like it was the new era. It was the start of a millennium. It's Shaq in L.A. It's the young star Kobe who's picking up where Jordan left off. It's like it's a lot you could do with that.
It's a lot you could do on so many levels. Like even if they did like just not even talking professional, if they did winning time like the Fab Five, like Michigan, you know what I'm saying? If they did the college years, you know, you got Christian Laettner stomping on people's faces. You know what
Oh,
I mean?
I
I
would.
hated Christian
I would
Laettner.
watch that just to hate that shit.
Exactly. This is what I'm saying.
Mother.
I watched that shit and I remember. It's just like there's
Everything
so many
called
good.
Duke, I hate that shit.
Oh God, I
Well,
hate Duke
I
so much.
like the idea
But
of
yeah,
winning time is just a series, and you can have multiple ones going on, right?
yeah. But because
Yeah,
you could have done even winning time, the Venus and Serena. You know what I'm
right.
saying? Like
Yeah, you could do all of those things.
any kind of sports thing, any kind of sport. Like it's just like I feel like they just
I like
dropped
that.
the ball. I feel
How
like
excellent.
somebody in HBO just doesn't have they just don't have imagination.
That's
Like Jason
law.
Zasloff, he
They're
just doesn't have
warners. Yeah, they're
imagination.
idiots.
Listen,
But who was
if
it
they
that
did the
just
Shaq
recently
and Kobe
said?
years, oh God.
But who was it that recently said which oh God, which I'm blanking on which streaming or not streaming service, which studio came out and said we are shutting down new ideas. They were like, we're not accepting anything new IP. Do you remember that? Like it just came out
Yeah,
last week.
but
It just came out last week, and I don't remember who
because
it
it
was. If
still could
anybody in the chat reminds
be
me,
any
like
of them.
no, it was a huge studio. It was like we're done creating new IP. We're only working with like what we have. And I'm like, huh? Who? What? It was like something. I think it was an animation house. They said we're done creating new IP, and like it was just like I can't. It just said everything to me about like where we're going as artists.
So, all right, let's. I think we've talked about it enough. Let's rewrite this. Let's start with you, Rikai. How are you going to rewrite it?
Um, just because of the ending, you gave me 7 episodes of a 10 episode. I am convinced there was 3 more episodes that I didn't get. I can't go above full meal. As much as I love this whole series, but if we're talking about just this season, yeah, I can't full meal. I'm sticking.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna jump in here. So I told y'all I gave my rating after I saw the little epilogue at the end, right? And
Before you saw that
before I saw the little epilogue. And I was like, well, it still ain't enough. But like the things that we could have had, the things we could have had. And I still love this series, and under normal circumstances, I say, yeah, full binge out. But just because HBO, Powerhouse, and Warner's, just for being fucking stupid, just for being stupid and not giving us what they could have or what the promise was in the first season and the subsequent season. And I'm still going back to what Courtney said. This could have launched a whole series of like fascinating sports series and properties called Winning Time. So like that's another missed opportunity. I'm not gonna bash it, but I am gonna bring my rating down from a full binge out to a full meal just because Warner's is stupid and they keep messing up DC movies too. So I'm gonna throw that into it. I'm gonna be real petty. I'm gonna bring it down just for those reasons. Roddy, don't be mad at me. Don't be mad. But I'm being petty for all the mistakes that Warner's has done over the years. For changing HBO to Max, I'm giving them. I'm taking it down. For making bad Warner's movies, I'm taking them down. For not giving us the remaining episodes, I'm taking them down. So I'm being real petty, and I'm gonna give it a full meal, not a full binge out. Courtney, what about you, man?
I mean, your series is called Winning Time, and you ended the series on a loss. So I cannot give you a full binge out when I too believe that there are 3 more episodes that they just don't want to air, that they want to tax right off, and gave us that little raggedy ass tag. It was ineffectual and like it hurt my feelings because it was such a strong series. It was such a strong series. Was I annoyed that I felt like you were trying to like tell me how to feel with like your vintage footage looking shots? Yes, I was a little bit, but did it really change the fact that going in, it was a full binge out? It was a full binge out, like kind of like Randy, up until that very last tag. And I am angry. I'm angry because you ruined a perfectly good series for no reason. People were just like kind of like lost in these last like 4 months that the strike has been going on. So I don't really think to cancel the show at this point in time was the right move. It was the Paramount CEO who said there will be no new animated IPs. He's only going to do established IP from now on. And I just feel like that's the state of the studio heads right now. And ending perfectly good series like this that have great following, that did have its dedicated fans, just like the NBA has its dedicated fans.
He's only
I just
saying
think you
that
did a
because
disservice.
Paramount's only saying that because they got Yellowstone.
They got Yellowstone for like another half a season because
I don't know. I
it's
don't
supposed
think
to be
Kevin
done.
Costner. I don't even think Kevin Costner's come back to do that.
Well, he wants to, but I don't know if Taylor Sheridan wants him to, because it's just been a whole bunch of hoopla. That's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
But like I cannot, in terms of rating, I want to go higher, but it was a big deal for me to give them a full meal because I thought the great work. I love the great storytelling. I can't take away from that. But I could go down just because I'm angry, but I'm not gonna take away from the work that was done.
Yeah.
Okay, so you gonna stay at a 4 mil?
Yeah, I'm gonna stay at full meal.
Okay, sorry. That's what the rating is. We are
Even though
giving
I'm still a little hungry.
a full meal. I get you. Rikai, what you got to say before we head out, sir?
Nothing, man. Again, I enjoyed this series and it's ended too soon, but I did enjoy our discussion here tonight. We're missing our brother, Chuck, who's traveling tonight, so it's.
Do you have his rating?
He
I don't
didn't.
know. I don't know if he finished it. I don't know if he sent the rating in. So.
Okay.
I know that he and I discussed it, so I know that he was enjoying what he's seen so far, but I don't think he finished. I don't know if he finished. So, what are we talking about next week?
Soka. Doing a Soka.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Courtney, got anything to say before we head out, ma'am?
No. Because I'm still mad that winning time ended on a loss. I just can't
And it was
get
white
over
privilege.
that. Like,
Yeah.
White privilege. I like the buses, but them bellowing at the top of their lungs that they own the team, like that ain't what I wanted.
it's not what I wanted. I don't like the idea of ending with two white people saying they own the team of black players. I don't know. I know it's not what they meant, and I'm not making this racial. I just want you guys to know I'm not making this racial. I just thought it was weird.
Speaking of which, I did not know that Jeannie Buss just got married a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Oh, he came up.
To Jay Moore.
It was Jay Moore.
Jay Moore. He was like wasn't he the other agent in Jerry Maguire, the one that snaked out Tom Cruise?
Oh, okay. Good for him. All right.
That dude fails up.
Yeah, that's how you fell up in life. You marry a bus. I'm not mad at him.
You know, maybe I'm sure they are really, really happy. Leaving people alone.
No, I'm happy for him.
You're talking about he failed up.
That's how you do it in life.
Up. I mean,
dynasties are meant by marrying into good families, like the Bushes.
Listen,
did it. The Kennedys did it.
Well, if I find a billionaire husband, he falls in love with me, and I fall in love with him. Y'all better not run around talking about, well, she failed up. I don't like it. I hurt both of y'all.
Shout out to Digital Click.
You married a billionaire husband. You're gonna be like, listen, that's my girl right there. She done well for herself. She's done well for herself. I knew her when she was just Courtney. Now she is Courtney.
She's Courtney. Right. Yeah, I'm all about to come up. I'm all about it.
Yeah, most definitely.
Shouts out to Digital Click. They provide of all of our marketing needs and all of those things. If you're considering promotional or marketing activities for your organization, give Digital Click a holla. Shouts out to Rodney, our technical director. Rodney is the person behind the scenes. He puts up all the ratings. He makes the transitions. So he's a great technical director. Shouts out to Mark in the chat. He was engaged with us. We appreciate your support and you coming back. You are always in there with us. The Geekish Network. We are a network for people of color. We have amazing people. We've got amazing people in front of the camera and behind the camera. And we do this for people who look like you. So please support us. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitch. We have our own podcast, and hit that subscribe button and like us here. So next week, as we talked about, we're going to be doing Ahsoka. The last episode will premiere Wednesday. No, was it Tuesday? Tuesday. And then we're going to come here and talk about it. So same back time, same back channel. We'll talk to you guys later. Peace.
Geek out and good night.